What's up, comic book nerds? Welcome to what is my actually first flip through. It's not a reading or page by page breakdown of a story, but I just kind of want to cover some of the comic books I have in my collection. I've been collecting, well, I collected as a kid, probably from age 6, 7. Until probably age 12. And then I took a break from comic book collecting and really started diving back into it within the last few years by getting into IDW content, mostly related to Godzilla stuff, as well as returning to my love of Ninja Turtles, X-Men, other Marvel things, and then definitely Batman. So you're gonna see that kind of content covered on here this year, as that's our new channel focus. But today, let's dive back into June of 1994 here. We have Married with Children, Buck's Tale, which is the dog here. Issue 1 sold for $1.95 back then by Now Comics. And we're immediately greeted with an ad from the Three Ninjas film. Did you guys ever see that one? Do you remember anything from Three Ninjas? TriStar Pictures back in '94. I saw that movie, definitely a good one. But karate was everything back then. But we have Bucktails here. Buck's Tail, not DuckTales. And we're gonna see the shenanigans of the family dog and what kind of antics they get up to. So that's what this story is about. And we already have some mockery from the dog here. As you can see, the family album is upside down and they're saying they're the dumb animal. So we go through some memories here through the book, with a photo book, reading it right side up apparently here. And then we see flashbacks here for when they were a puppy and being scolded. The art style's, definitely of its time. It still holds up pretty well, in my opinion. We see other ads here for other comics that were being put out by Now Comics back then. Of course, you see the Green Hornet here. And a Speed Racer. Do you guys remember that show, Speed Racer?
Here comes Speed Racer.
It was definitely a fun cartoon back in the day. I never read any of the comics, though. Have you read them? Comment if you have. And then we see the dog getting invested with an open mic night here, going out and about on the town. So we get kind of a backstory here of Buck, because this again is Buck Tales. I don't know how many issues. I'll look that up and put that in the text here in the video for you. I'm curious how many issues they put out for the Buck Tales, if it was just kind of a spin-off. But speaking of back issues, you get a breakdown here where you can actually, back in the day, do orders for stuff that may not have been in print or hard to get or sold out at your local retailer, where you could actually mail in and get issues. So you see things vary in price here. Ghostbusters 2, issue 1 sold out. Green Hornet. So a lot of stuff here. And obviously this is just for Now Comics. These were the things they were putting out at the time. So you get an idea of what you might have been buying. So most likely you were probably getting Real Ghostbusters, Speed Racer, some of the more popular things, maybe Tales of the Green Hornet or the Terminator. That was a couple of years after Terminator 2, so I'm curious if that was still super popular. Universal Soldier, it's funny that they had a comic too, I did not know that. And then of course Twilight Zone, it's one of those brands that just kind of continues on and never gets old. And then we see another ad here for a summer special. And our story continues for the misadventures of the pup here. We have another advertisement for Mr. T and the T-Force. I think I may have an issue of that in my collection. If I can find it, I'll do a video on that. But a good chunk of my collection, mind you, is going to be from the early 90s. So if that is your thing, subscribe for more, because that is going to be the focus of what I cover here. And it's going to be all over the place. It's not going to be like complete runs of anything. I have a lot of random issues. I used to get my comics from, I think it was like the local CVS or Walgreens from back in the day. And they have a hotline to call Mr. T on his own phone line. Call and hear his motivational message.
Do what's right, and you can't go wrong.
Wow. What a time period to be alive, I tell you. And then we see the shenanigans continue, and then we flash back to the household. And the story ends with, now was that story worth $1.95 or what? So kind of cheeky and fun there. And then, of course, you have the people who wrote in, and you could send your letter in, and it'll get possibly published here. So some information from them here. And then more advertising to conclude the book here. We have a Married with Children annual, more Green Hornet stuff, and advertising for this particular issue. And you could even order for $59.95 a limited edition watch with display box. I would love to know if anyone has that. But again, this is just, and then an ad in the back here for siphons. So this was, again, just kind of a flip through, real quick recap of Married with Children, Buck's Tale. And this is the first issue of that run. And if I could find information, it's up on your screen now if there were any more issues of this. But if you like this kind of content, obviously like, subscribe, comment, let me know if you want to see more.
See more butts? Hey, everybody, I want to see more
I'm going to be
butts!
covering primarily stuff from the early 90s, but I do have a lot of newer stuff, and then I've been getting my hands on some omnibus and compendium content. So if you want long form Let's Reads, that may be on the horizon. So again, like, subscribe, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.